Are they worth it? Was the first question I actually asked myself when I first saw these weights years ago. And back then I decided they were not, and I wish I had decided differently. And as I go ahead and unbox these, I'm going to tell you why. So back then, when I was just getting into working out, I decided they were too expensive, so I just went out and I bought several different weights. I bought two 10s, two 20 pounds, and then two 45-pound weights. So everything was fine for a while. I was building up my strength using the 20s for working out things like shoulders and chest, and the 45s for biceps. But then, I got to the point where the 20s were too light for my shoulders. And instead of going up incrementally, I switched from the 20s to the 45s and managed to mess up one of my shoulders because frankly I wasn't ready for that much of a weight increase. Now luckily there was no permanent damage, but I couldn't work out for a while, and then I had to go out and buy some 30-pound weights for that safe weight increase. Now that I'm coming back to fitness, I didn't hesitate before getting these. The incremental weight increases these can provide are important, especially if you're just getting started on your workout journey. These are really easy to use. The manual does recommend you test each one before you start using it. Basically, you want to test to make sure each plate locks into place and will not unlock when the weight is lifted off the base, and that all the weight settings work correctly. So to do this, you basically switch through all the weight settings and lift the weight a couple inches out of the base to make sure that the switch cannot be turned while the weight is up in the air. And you're going to want to do this with both dumbbells if you have two. Once you're done with that, they're ready for use. The only thing you have to keep in mind is if you have the same weight set on both sides, you can place it back into the base from either direction. But if you want to use an offset weight distribution with one side heavier to get slightly different muscle groups on your workout, you need to place it back into the base the same direction you picked it up because one side will have more plates attached to it than the other. So it's pretty clear that I'm a big fan of these weights. The only negative I can say is that they are a decent amount bigger than say if you were using 10-pounders. So you have to adjust some workouts for their bigger size. But once you get up to the heavier sizes, they're only slightly bigger or about the same sizes as the weights I'm used to. This is definitely not a deal breaker for me, but something I wanted you to be aware of. I do, however, think the utility of these weights outweighs that negative. I have been using them for a month and I couldn't be happier. They don't take up a lot of room, the grip is comfortable, and they replace a whole rack's worth of weights.